everyone, what's going on? Wagwan. It's me, Odessa Chambers. I am a music entertainment exec. I also am a film and television producer. I'm also a media assassin. I'm not going to take that title because that's from Harry Allen. And but I do public relations. And what else? I do so much. There's so much things to me. Production. Yeah. And I like to dance. My edge in the business might be a little different because I'm the daughter of reggae legend Jimmy Cliff. However, a lot of people don't know that. So I have an edge, like I know how to deal with celebrities because I take what my father has gone through and the likes and the dislikes that he doesn't like to do, and I apply that when I work with everybody. I got into the business of entertainment, but my dad didn't want me to be in the business of entertainment. He wanted me to do something completely different because he knows how hard it is, how rough it is, how seedy it is, how incestuous it is, and it's a lot of work. But I stuck to my guns, and when I finished my diploma in the UK, I decided to move to Jamaica. Jamaica's always been my calling, it's been my spirit. I've always been here 3 times for the year with my dad and then the rest with my mom. If I wasn't in the UK, I'd be in New York or Jamaica. So when I came to Jamaica, my first job was working for Chris Blackwell's Island Jamaica Records. He just set it up, and my responsibilities was A&R and promotion. So I was responsible for working with people such as Shakademus and Pliers, Buju Banton's Till Shiloh project, Beanie Man's Blessed album, Spanner Banner, even including my father's project when he was with the label. And it was fun. It was a lot of work. It was 24 hours basically. When I did promotions, I drove all over the island. To them time there it was records, you know what I mean? You get the stuff pressed up at Tough Gong. You would, Tough Gong or Sonic Sound, so it was records and 45s in them days. And you'd have to go and distribute those with and have relationships with all the record shops across the island as well. But it was fun, it was just me. I learned to drive instantly as soon as I got the job. And it was just cool seeing how Chris Blackwell built his reggae label and watching how the culture of record music industry grew and how it's changed now, how simpler it is now that we can stream music and not have to buy LPs or cassettes or that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a lot. And then while I was doing that, I also was doing reporting for Anthony Miller's Entertainment Report. And I was an intern, and then I became his reporter, going out, interviewing people such as the Buju Banton, such as the Beanie Mans, having relationships with all the dancehall artists as they were growing. So when I was building, they were building as well. And I'm an avid dancehall girl. I used to go to all the dance them, hang out with Willie Haggart, with Bogle, and pick me up, we party, we have fun. So that whole era has been embodied into me as well. And it was just, you know, so much fun. It wasn't hard, it was just a lot of fun. So while doing Island Records, I was doing that at the same time. Eventually, I left Island Records and I started to say I'm gonna just set up my own thing. And I set up my own PR company, Odessa Chambers Media. And my first client was Yogi back then, but Courtney John. And Courtney John and his business associate, Chris Smith, was also setting up his management company at the same time. And at that time, he had a young artist that he was developing called Nelly Furtado. So I've been working with Chris Smith Management and Courtney for years. They're still family, they're still my brothers. So I was working tightly, as I said, with Nelly Furtado, Tamia, Jarvis Church, all the people, Fifi Dobson, all the rock and pop artists that were on his label. And I learned how the structure of management was, you know? Management is not an easy road, it's 24 hours, and you can't be, you always gotta be on your P's and Q's. You know, you could have, your house could be flooding and you'll have your client on the phone at the same time, and you have to be calm and listen to that client at the same time, hang up the phone, and then go and take care of your thing. So I learned a lot from working with Chris Smith, closely with Chris Smith and Courtney John, especially in how a label works, a record label works independently, as well as management. After that, what was I doing? In between that, I should say, because that's what I said, each time I'm working, it's not just one particular job. So at the same time, I was also working with Trevor Bailey, Kevin Lee, Ras Casa, and we built the first cable channel called Music Plus in Jamaica.
Tell me I have a problem, want to help me solve the case. I'm out my day to find some work.
And our motto was radical creative energy. That's exactly what we were. We were in our late 20s, early 20s, late 20s. And it was just a joy. It was just like, it was the coolest thing. And that's when I decided to move from behind the camera and in front of the camera, hosting, directing, and producing my own show called Out of Control, which was, you could have me anywhere in the world or any event asking the questions that I want to ask, that people don't want to ask. And it was just amazing working with those talent. I think that Kevin Lee and Ras Casa and Trevor Bailey, Nadia Rose, Claudette Powell, all of us, we revolutionized what television is in Jamaica, honestly. Like, it was, there was nothing like it. That's what inspired RETV, that's what inspired Hype TV. They were inspired by us, and I hold no qualms by saying that. We just knew about what it was to produce content. And it wasn't about pretty graphics, it wasn't about having the latest artists, it was about content. And I think that's what our youth have lost today. It's about looking pretty. Me as a host, I wore the same, wife beater, cut the top. And basically that was my uniform when I was hosting. Majority of the time, made sure that my face looked good, my hair looked good, and that was it. It was about the artist, it was about the personality that I was talking to. It was never about me. I think that we've lost that, and I think that we need to get back to that, focusing on the subject, the content, and not you. Now it's celebrity, it's all about me, and I look cute, and blah, blah, blah. So, so even though I was doing that, I was working at Island Records, I was still doing Music Plus, and I was doing management with Chris Smith Management, and I was still working at Music Plus. Eventually, I stopped working with both, and there was a period, it was just like a very quiet period where I was doing a lot of overseas productions, working with Vice News, working with House Hunters International, working with BBC, doing a lot of different projects with them, and at the same time doing PR. But I found that PR in Jamaica was rough because they don't like to pay and they want a lot. And I just said, you know what, let me just get into more of the business of production. Eventually, one of my clients that I was with Chris Smith Management, her name's Krisha Turner, she was signed with Incredible, which is Nick Cannon's label, and she said that she's doing a project with TOK, and she's coming down, and we started talking, and I said, you know what, Nick is working with a Jamaican artist, why not have him come to Jamaica? So she's like, yeah, let's let him come to Jamaica. So we inveigled him to fly in. I did a whole schedule for him in Kingston, especially because I wanted him to see the entertainment the epicenter. I think Kingston, Jamaica is the epicenter of the Caribbean when it comes to entertainment. So we did a whole thing for him in a whole schedule, set that up, and we took him to his first dance, which was, oh my God, what is it called on Sunday? Wet Sundays. And as he walked in, he saw Beanie Man winding up with a girl and a girl doing the poppy tail dance. And he was just like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, that's the girl. She says, what's that dance? I said, it's called the poppy tail. And he goes, oh, poppy tail. I like that. You understand? And then Beanie Man was there, introduced him to Beanie Man. And that was his first time ever walking into a dance hall. After that, the next day we went to, Mojito Mondays. And we were standing up there looking at dancers. And this is going to lead me back to another thing that I did while I was at Chris Smith Management. I produced a television series called In the Dance, where it was really about dancers. We took in England we have a show called Top of the Pops. In America they have a show called Soul Train. In Canada they have a thing called Electric Circus. So we took that same concept and bought it for Jamaica. It was a very expensive feat. I was working with talent of 250 talent, 200 dancers from all walks of life, but it was really about them and not the artists per se who were performing. It was the #1 show in the region, in the Caribbean, and I'm proud to say that it was just one of the most rewarding projects that I've ever worked on. It was hard work, but one of the rewarding. So, knowing that Nick and I were standing up, we were looking at dancers, doing their thing, and Nick turned to me and I turned to Nick and I said, let's do a movie. He's like, yo, I was just thinking about that. So I dropped him up to Strawberry Hill. The next morning, we're doing an interview on Smile Jamaica. Picked him up. On the way off the hill, he's like, all right, I got Buster, I got Whoopi, this is the script, blah, blah, blah. I'm in. 6 months later, we shot the movie King of the Dancehall, in which I was responsible for casting a young, beautiful talent called Kimberly Patterson, as well as Collie Buds and a whole lot of other people. So that was one of the hardest jobs I've ever did, because it was 2 weeks to shoot a whole movie. No sleep, no sleep. So after that, there was another period where I was continuing doing a lot of overseas projects, and then I got a call to produce Daytime Live. It was either that or work with Idris Elba, and I took that because it's longevity, and I never had the ability to work with live television before. So I took it on. It's amazing. It's grown from strength to strength. I have a great team of people. My hosts are amazing. It's a lot of work. Doesn't look as easy as it is, but it's a lot of work. And I now have a podcast, and it's called Reasonings with Odessa. And that's my baby. I want this to be the biggest thing coming out of the Caribbean. I don't think we have enough Caribbean podcasts. I think that a lot of the podcasts coming out of Jamaica are just chit chat, and I think they're following the model of America, or who these Americans and stuff like that. So my podcast is a reasoning. It's with celebrities, influencers. Jick will be on soon. Nikki will be on soon. And I just want to talk to influencers and celebrities and give you an in-depth personality talk, reasoning with them, and we do it over alcohol. I ask the questions that people want to ask and are afraid to ask, and it's fun. And you can get it on all platforms. It's on YouTube and Bob's Your Uncle. I told you it's a lot that I do. I think nowadays, in this generation of entertainment and young people, I think that they need to listen a lot more. I think that this generation tends to think that they know everything, and I don't know if it's something that's just a vibe, but I think that what made my generation special is that we listen to our elders. You know, like Uncle Toots just died today, and he's somebody that a lot of the singers back in the day would go and seek knowledge from and speak to him. And me personally, I learned from like a lot of people in television, such as Anthony Miller, such as Judith Alberga, a lot of people. And I sat down and I took the time to ask questions, sit down, hang out, and be around people. So I think that they just need to listen a little bit more. Everything is not, you know, because we're in a digital age now. This generation has everything at your hands, ready to go, and it's easier, a little bit easier. Not to say it's fully easier, but but there's kinks and there's certain things that your elders can tell you a lot more from. Yeah. How do I overcome? I cuss a lot of bad word. I'll drink. I will call my mother, who's my oracle, and she will guide me and tell me, just certain things you just ignore, certain things you just go through it. I find the older that I am, the more tolerant I am and the more calmer I am than when I was young. But I guess when you're young, you're allowed to be that way. You're allowed to be a little angry. You're allowed to be a little rough around the edges, because that's growth, But that's basically what I do. I just take everything in stride. Everything is a learning. It's learning. It's about learning. So nothing that has been an obstacle or a bump in the road, it's just a bump in the road. If you get a flat, you change your tire or you fix it, and then you keep on going. Just don't tell people your business. When you go, I learned from my aunt, my grand aunt says, when you go into work, you're there to work. You're not there to make friends. So if especially like we're all in production, so when you're on a set, you're there to work. You're not there to really make any friends or anything. When you leave the set, then you can relax, you take off your mask and you be yourself, you know, but it's just about just focusing on work and not taking anything personal, especially when you're doing production. I think it's my upbringing. I have really humble parents. My mother is a very humble woman. She's very down to earth, roots grounded, and she's always brought me up to be kind, considerate, but not a pushover at the same time, you know, and always think about what the other person is, what they're going through at the same time while you're working. But both of my parents are very humble, and I think that's what's made me me today. I think there needs to be more projects and more things set up for our youth to really, because the creative industries has been the backbone of Jamaica, basically. And I don't think that we're being recognized for that. I think they put more things into other aspects and just, you know, because we do it anyway and we make shit happen anyway, it's fine, you know what I mean? But I think they need to pump more money, government-wise, and also, you know, have more mentors around for youth so that they can, more money needs to be pumped into creative industries, a lot more. I'm proud of most when I talk to young people or just pick up the phone and have a talk, and then they call me back and they say, Odessa, you know, thank you for that moment, or Odessa, thank you for teaching me something on set, or being kind, or just saying that to me as a woman is the most rewarding thing ever. Just getting good positive feedback from people that I've inspired or people that inspire me at the same time, because young people inspire me as well as my elders, as I said before, so yeah. I think that young people now need to really go back to basics of knowing how to pitch a letter, an email, and not just WhatsApp you something, not just DM you something. I think that they need to learn how to pitch and stay on the course. Everything is so instant. We're in an instant world right now, but at the same time, certain things you've got to slow your roll, and you've got to learn, go back to the key principles of how to pitch yourself and how to introduce yourself to somebody. Nothing comes quickly. You have to work for it.